Coming up on the next episode. Good Thursday afternoon to you all, YouTube. It is 2:10 now in the p.m. On this rainy day. It is chilly, rainy. Had to go out a while ago and meet the lady from the post office out there to get a package out of my mailbox. They had left yesterday and I could not get it open. It's kind of funny. The item in question was a doll that I had ordered for my daughter, for my great-granddaughter. And so yesterday when they delivered, I went out there and tried to open the parcel locker, and it didn't work. So anyway, I called the post office. They come out, and sure enough, what had happened is when they put mail in these cluster boxes, they open up the whole box and they stick all the mail into the slots that they go into, and if there's a package, they shove that into the package locker, and then they close it all up. Well, in the process of that happening, what they had done is the box was long enough to where it had hit the lock cylinder, or the tumbler, or whatever you want to call it, that opens the thing up, and wasn't allowing it to open up. So I was poking in there and trying to get it open, it wouldn't open. So that's what we determined was the problem. Anyway, I got my package out. So again, like I say, I got wet while I was doing that, but it wasn't a big deal. I worked for the USPS for 18 years. And I didn't melt, so I guess I won't. A lot going on, a lot not going on. How's that? Been busy lately doing the BDST packages to send out to the beta testers. There was 3 individuals that did not have a well, I tell you what, I can't do that for nothing. 3 individuals that didn't have their the latest version of the BDST, and Bob and I are trying to get everyone involved on the same wavelength, I guess is the best way to put it. So everybody's on the same level, has the same kit, same everything. So in addition to the 3 that I mailed out, I also got one to mail out today. It's just a volume control for one of the ones that I had mailed out before. Now Bob has changed the volume control from a 500K pot to a 100K pot, and so I need to send him a new one of those, and that will update his. The other one that we had a problem with, as you may recall, I may have mentioned, I don't know, but that has been sent back, working now. And the problem was basically with my documentation. Misunderstanding as far as what was that was done and things like that. Now on this latest version, I've tried to make it very clear on what parts go with what, and put the probe parts into a different baggie, a little plastic bag, than the main board parts. So hopefully that will help on that as well. So that's been sent out now, and hopefully those will arrive by Monday, is what the tracking indicates it will. So we'll be able to get started back on this project, and we've been really anxious to get, or I have anyway, anxious to get back into it and start working on it again, and eventually hopefully get this ready to sell. So that's the plan. Now also on the testing, I want to go over this while I'm thinking about it. I have decided, I was gonna use my new wriggle scope to do that, and I figured it ought to be sensitive enough to do it. And the problem is it's actually too sensitive. The input signal that I'm using apparently is not very stable. It fluctuates a little bit, and the scope is just picking up every fluctuation in that, and it's not allowing a good steady signal. So what I have decided to do, at the same time I was doing the scope, I was doing the digital multimeter that's in the MFP. You guys may recall that one. And it seemed to be even more stable than the scope. I mean, I was getting I was getting some fluctuation. You know how the digital meters are; they're always moving around. But I was getting a pretty good significant figures on the certain aspects of it. So what I've decided now, you guys know how radios are on. We basically use a RF signal at 455 or whatever the IF frequency happens to be, and modulate that with a 1000 hertz tone, or 400 depending on the equipment that you use. So that is just measured by a little AC voltmeter, and that works just fine. And so what I have decided to do is I have a Syncor in there, FE16, that I bought some time ago, and I think it seems to work pretty good. I'm pretty sure it does. Anyway, I'll make sure it does, but I'm going to use that as an indication of for testing. Is is it higher or level, or a higher level or a lower level when I make a change and things like that. That's all I want to do for my testing part of it. Now I don't know if Bob has any ideas on what he wants to do, or any changes he wants to make, but I want to see what happens when. I'll give you an example. The RF cable that we use now on the probe, and with the B and C connectors on each end, we're thinking about doing away with that and using a more flexible audio cable with 3.5 millimeter jacks and plugs on the cable, and instead of using the stiffer RF cable, because there's really no sense in using RF cable if you think about it. I mean, the only thing that's getting through from the probe is an audio signal, and that's all that's coming through. And so I have a RF cable that will, get up in the megahertz of frequency that you don't really need. So I just think to do away with that would be a better option. And like I say, that's one of the things I want to check out. And I basically want to check out and find out if it's a degradation in a signal or if it's enhanced by it at all. That's one of the things I want to do. There are a couple other things that I want to do, and that's what we want to do in testing. But the main thing is to get everybody on the same level, and so everybody can do their testing and see how it works for them. So that's that. So I did all that. Also got Bill's speaker bracket. You guys may recall that item that I was working on for him, and I've got that sent off to him. His also should be there Monday. Now, I don't know if Bill, he indicated to me that he probably would make a video on it right away on the radio because he's got so much else going on, and I understand that, problems with his wife and things like that, and I think they're getting some weather up there. So, like I say, no hurry on that, but I just wanted to get my part of it done to where he'll have it and can do it at his leisure then whenever he wants to do it. So so that's that. That's pretty good. Been kind of cool here lately. Wake up in the morning, I look at the phone, temperature in the phone, and for Seymour, and it's in the it's been in the 30s a couple of nights. So we're not very happy about that. I don't like the cold weather. I just it's funny because I just got today on email. My electric company always emails me the bill for the next month, what it's going to be, and it was down to $70. That's the lowest it's been in I don't know how long. And so I was thrilled to death about that, but at the same time, I just turned the heat on yesterday. So goodbye to low heating or low electric bills. So. You know how it is. You never can catch a break. Just like Bill says, you don't get spring and fall anymore. It just goes from summer to winter. And so you kind of miss that because that's that time of the year that you can basically, you don't need the air conditioning, you don't need the heat, and you get a break from the high bills. And or at least, that's the way it's worked for me. So kind of disappointed about that, but it is what it is. And I did put the little heater that I bought last year for the shop in my shop area, and got it running now, and it stays nice and warm. I worked in there all day yesterday getting those kits all ready to send out, and worked great in there. So I'm happy about that. Being as it is thermostatic controlled, I just leave it on because it stays nice and warm in there even at night. There's no sense in turning it down because it's really not that much, just that little heater going. And so that way I can get up in the morning and it go in there, and it's actually I enjoyed it in there more than I did sitting in here under my blanket because it's warmer. When the room is warm, I mean you're warm. I mean it's just that way. I mean when you're sitting under a blanket, you've got your hands out, your head's out. You know, you don't stay as warm, and I don't stay as warm as everybody else, obviously, because when I had my heating or my air conditioner on this winter or this summer, I'll get it right here. I had it set on 78, and so. You know, I know a lot of people look at me and shake their head. They say, "Well, how in the world do you keep it that stand it that high?" And I do. It's comfortable to me. And believe it or not, I'm the only one here, and I'm the only one I have to please. So you know, I set it the way I want it, and so that's what I do. And like I said, in the wintertime, that's a little bit different. In the wintertime, because I set it to keep the bills down. I figure I can stay under a blanket or, again, go into a heated room or whatever, and I keep my thermostat on for the house at 68. So that right there is 10 degrees cooler, so you can see the difference, I think, that will make, or does make. And it takes me a little while to get acclimated from summer to winter. And so until I do, there's days that I don't do anything but basically sit under this heated blanket or whatever and watch videos. And I've done that a lot here lately. So that's that, I guess. But I did get out and do some things yesterday. Like I said, I went and dropped the BDST kits off in the mail. I have one more to send to Greg. No problem. I may go get me something to eat. I went out yesterday and got me something to eat at Burger King. I haven't been to Burger King in a while, and hadn't had their chicken sandwich, their original chicken sandwich, for quite some time. Decided to try that. It was good. I enjoyed it, and so I may have to try that again. But like I said, I may have to get something else. I don't know. We'll see. I eat out sometimes, couple of nights, and then I don't eat out for a while, and then you know. Of course, I have food here, and that kind of brings up another funny story. Funny to me, I can laugh about this now because I didn't die. What happened was, some time ago, my daughter cleaned out her cupboard, and this was when Lexi was living here, and she gave us all the food that she didn't want. And a lot of it had been sitting in her cupboard quite a while. And one of the things in there was pancake mix. Well, you know, I didn't think about it too much. And then I thought the other day I was in there and I thought, well, you know, it'd be kind of nice to have some pancakes, because there was a bottle of syrup in there as well, and with that stuff. And I said, I don't think I'll go ahead and make it. It was just it's the add water type. And I love that stuff because it's so easy to do. And so I went ahead and made it. And anyway, the butter that was in, or I should say margarine, it was in my refrigerator. I had a new tub, but the old tub was, you know, had been in there for a while, and there was some moldy spots. You guys know how butter or margarine or whatever sits around in the fridge, even in the refrigerator, it will get mold on. And there was some mold. Well, anyway, long story short, I thought I worked around the spots enough to get, and the only thing I used it for was to put some in the pan for the pancakes to let, you know, have it. I didn't want them sticking. So that's the only thing I used it for, and I didn't use that much of it. And again, I thought I stayed well enough away from the moldy parts because obviously you want that. And then I threw the rest of it away. Well, I figured it wasn't no good, but you know, I didn't really want to open up a new one just for that. And so, anywho, that's that's what I did. Ended up opening up the new one anyway to put butter on top of the pancake because, you know, what to put our pancakes without butter on. So anyway, I ate that, and I tell you what, I haven't felt that way in a long, long time. I was so dizzy. I was dizzy sitting, but then when I got up, I could not stand up and walk unless I stood there for a minute and got myself, you know, to where I could focus on what I was doing. And then even when I walked, I was walking crooked. It was, like I said, I can laugh about it now because I didn't die. But so I didn't know if it was that was the problem, or the mix, because I like to look at the mix later on, and it turns out it said best if used by 4/4 of 21. So obviously it was, 8 months, 7 months past that, or whatever, 6 months, whatever, 6 months past that. And I said, when it says used by, and then it gives you a date. Now, if it says best if used by, I don't figure that's quite as bad as saying don't use this after a certain date. So I didn't think it was that, and I was talking to Brenda and Bob about it. They both agreed that it was probably the butter that did it. It wasn't the pancake mix. And so I got brave again the other night, and I thought, I'm going to try it again, of course, with good butter this time. And sure enough, that was the problem. The butter was the answer to that riddle. So I got to remember that for future reference. If the butter gets moldy, throw it out. Don't try to go around it a little bit. I've done that before with bread. You guys probably have done that too. I had some bread in the left out on the counter or whatever, and after a while it gets a little places that are moldy. And you could generally take that off and use the bread. I mean, get the bad parts off and use it. Then there's other times when you know that there's no doing that because it's gotten into this one and that one. But if it's just that top layer or top one on there or something like that, I mean, I don't mind just peeling that off and using it. I'm not one to waste food. I never have been. And so, like I said, if it's what it takes to save the food, I'll save the food. So so that's that. That was a kind of a funny story. But anyway. As I had said before, let's see, did I talk about... I've done this now 4 or 5 times. This last time I did it, I had a perfect one, and there was no audio. So here I am doing it again. So like I said, I think I covered pretty much everything. I covered the testing that I want to do. I got that covered, and one more thing, the video. I have an idea for a video that I'm going to make. Now, as you guys know, I've mentioned before, I've been watching Hillary Klug do her dancing and fiddling and doing her little, where she does the twins and where she does the triplets. And that fascinates me because I'd like to do stuff like that, and I may be doing something like that rather soon. I've got an idea. That I woke up early this morning and I didn't want to get up right away. I ended up laying in bed for a while, so thinking about this, and got an idea on how I want to do it, and I think it should work out pretty good. But it'll be kind of funny if it works out like I want it to. The guy on Aging Wheels does this all the time, and I marvel at stuff like that because I think I should be able to do that too. Some people do. I think he does his mostly with split screen. Now, Hillary does hers with both chroma key, green screen, and split screen, I believe. I tell you what, the one you really want to watch is the 14-year-old fiddler. If you haven't seen that, you guys need to watch that because that is a good video. He has, of course, he had his, I guess it's his family, I don't know, but anyway, there's people in the background playing other instruments, and he plays the fiddle. And he has 5 of himself out in front playing fiddle, and each one of these are different. It is just, it's kind of amazing how he did it. I really have to, I've never seen any, sometimes you can see places where, you can tell they were stitched together or something. You don't see any of that with this, and it's amazing how he did it. But anyway, again, that was another combination of chroma key and probably split screens and things like that. And, the other part of that is that he does it on a 2-camera type system where, in other words, he's got it face on, but then he's also got a side view that he's got it on. And it's just, I tell you what, it's just amazing how he does that. And if you haven't seen that, I think it's called 14-Year-Old Fiddler or something like that. I don't know exactly what it is. I may put a link in this description on this video so that you can see that, because if you haven't watched that, you need to watch it, because that's amazing how he does that. But I want to do something like that, and that's going to be fun to do. I enjoy doing stuff like that, and I'm trying to get away from all just electronics and things like that. I want to get into something like that. Not so much comedy, but just more advanced type stuff on my videos. And eventually I'd like to incorporate that into videos, that I do. So that's the plan anyway. For anybody that wondered about the Magnavox radio, I did change the transistor in that, the oscillator transistor. I pulled the one out of the identical radio, and it was not it was not identical. It had been changed as well. It was not the original. So apparently there's a problem with that operating as a oscillator again, I guess. But anyway, that did fix the little beige Magnavox. It plays fine now. In fact, it plays better than the other one did. So happy about that. Got that done. So may produce, or may put in a little clip of that here on it playing, so you can hear it playing. So. All right. Well, you can see it's working now. I got the replacement transistor out of the other one in there. It had been replaced. That was not the original, at least according to the one I took out and the one on the schematic. So I forget the number now that I put back in, but is also just a little bit larger than the original one. So it was a little hard to get in there, but I got it in there, and it's working rather well. So I'm very happy about that. Now I've got this radio done, basically. That's about it, I think. I don't think I have anything else. This is just going to be an update, Friday Flap, whatever you want to call it, on what's going on here. Again, just trying to stay warm. Kind of a full-time job in the winter for me, because again, that 10-degree difference in the room temperature makes a big difference to me. And yesterday I had a sweatshirt on. Today I'm just wearing a regular shirt, but of course I have a t-shirt on underneath it. So that's generally my outfit for the wintertime, is two shirts basically, and then I have my heated blanket as always. So actually this one's not heated. This one's just this is the one I got. I've had all along, and the heated part stopped working, and I was telling Lexi about it, and she made mention of it to my daughter. And for last Christmas, they bought me new ones, a blanket and a throw for in here, and I just haven't broke that out yet. I just haven't felt like getting it out. This has been working just fine without the heater. So I'm not a wasteful person. I try not to waste things, and if it's working, why not use it? So that's just the way I feel about things, I guess. That's gonna do me. I don't think I have anything else going on. I think that's about it. So I'm gonna wish you all a wonderful, wonderful day. I hear the mailman out there now in the mail vehicle. And like I say, you guys have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and we will see you.